In this video, I really want to talk about something that has cost me so many bass over the years that it is honestly ridiculous. It is something that I, at times, still struggle with, but I've really started to put it in the back of my mind that when I catch a fish, there's really two different ways that I can look at that fish catch. And in this video, I want to talk about that because I think it can truly help you to catch a lot more bass, a lot bigger bass, and find fish a lot quicker. Now, before we get into all that, this video is brought to you by Finn Fishing Apparel. We are winding down on the very end of the year here, and if you guys are looking for an early Christmas gift, a birthday gift, whatever it may be for your buddy, your son, your dad, whatever it may be, definitely go out and check out Finn Fishing Apparel. I have USA-made sun shirts, shorts, hats, gloves, a lot of different stuff over on the website, and shopping at Finn Fishing is truly the best way to help support this channel. So I'm gonna leave a link down below in the description for Finn Fishing. I greatly appreciate every single one of you who has shopped there in the past. All right, let's talk a little bit about fishing and really locating fish. Because what I have found over the years is that when you catch a fish, when a lot of us anglers catch fish, there are two different ways that we can kind of look at that fish catch. Now, one is to look at that fish catch very broadly, and one is to look at that fish catch very narrowly, in a narrow mindset. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Narrowly is a word. You guys know that I'm not the best when it comes to grammar. But anyways, you can look at something very broad or very narrow. And in bass fishing, there are days out there where looking at it very narrow, in a narrow way, can really help you to catch a lot of bass. And sometimes looking at it just very broadly can also help you to catch fish. So let me explain exactly what I'm talking about, because I think if you understand this concept, it can really help you out there on the water to get around fish really quickly. So for example, the other day I was out there, I was fishing, and I caught a fish on just a random laydown in the water, flipping and pitching. Now there was two ways for me to look at that specific fish catch. One is there's a lot of rock and grass and other different types of cover in the area, and I caught that fish on wood. So my first broad thought, very broad, is that the bass might just be on wood. So I might be able to go and locate other pieces of wood and catch more fish. Sometimes bass fishing can be as simple as that. I remember at times, being on a lake. I remember this lake that had so much wood, grass, rock cover, and it was crazy how much cover it was. And then all of a sudden I caught a bass on a dock, and all of a sudden I was like, I wonder if this dock has one. And I just started running around fishing docks, and every dock that I pulled up to, it seemed like I either got bit or caught a bass. And so it was simple as fishing docks. Now at times, that is, you actually can look at that too broadly, right? Sometimes you have to really dig down deep into specifically what dock or what brush pile that or lay down that fish came out of. For example, this particular bite that I got just the other day, like I said, was in a laydown. Now this laydown was on the mouth of a creek, and it was around the channel, and I had pretty off-color water. All certain little aspects that, what I decided to do is I decided to go out and try to duplicate the exact same thing. So when I got bit, I noticed, hey, I'm really close to the creek channel. I'm at the mouth of this pocket. I have really muddy water, pretty dirty water. So I went to the very next creek that had a creek channel swing right on the mouth of the pocket where there was some wood cover, dirty water, and I flipped the exact same jig in there, and guess what? I didn't get bit. I bet you thought I was gonna say I did get bit. I didn't get bit. As a matter of fact, I tried to do that so many times throughout the day, and it rarely yielded a bass. So what I started doing is thinking of things broadly again. Going down the bank and just fishing whatever piece of wood cover looked the best, no matter if it was in 6 inches of water or 5 foot of water, and that is actually what yielded more fish for me. So what I'm trying to say is that at times when we get out there on the water, I have seen it on both ends of the broad and narrow spectrum. There are days when you go out there, you catch a fish, you can be very broad. Oh, they're in grass. Oh, they're on rock. Oh, they're on docks. Oh, they're on wood. And you don't have to think like so specifically about bass. And as a matter of fact, at times, like that example that just happened to me the other day, I was too narrow with my way of thinking. I thought I had to find these 5 or 6 ingredients to really go out there and catch a bass, and I didn't need those ingredients. I really just needed one ingredient, which is a really good piece of wood, a really good laydown. On the flip side of things, there have been probably more times than not where you do find something that is very narrow, and if you can figure that narrow way of looking at how you caught a fish out, you will beat everyone on the lake. So you can see that there's kind of two edges of the sword, because there's times where if you look at something narrow, hey, I am on this creek channel swing, next to a laydown, next to a creek where there's bait. And if you go and you find that exact same thing and you catch another fish, you can literally hopscotch around the lake looking for all the ingredients and where they meet up, and you will catch fish every time you stop. I've seen that so many times out there in the water. But like I said, there are times where we get just too close-minded to bass fishing, and we think we have to be so specific with something, and then it turns out that you don't have to be that specific. So this is part of why bass fishing can be very difficult at times, because there are days out there where, man, really being close-minded to a few things can help you, and where it can absolutely kill you. And so one of the best things that you can do when you're out there on the water is, when you catch a bass, take all those details in. Take all those details in. And what I like to do is I do tend to do more narrowly focused things at first, because I feel like over time that generally yields a better result. And then I start being more broad with my approach. So kind of like I did this weekend when I caught a fish, I examined everything, water depth, water clarity, where it was, and I tried to duplicate it. And at times, that is the freaking deal. And there are days, like I said, where you can get on something so quick and be so efficient and so effective out there. But if you're not able to duplicate it, start widening, start broadening your approach. Instead of thinking, oh, it has to be this and that, maybe it just, like I said, it has to be a good looking laydown. And that is all that it needs to be. Because there are days out there where it can swing one way or another. There are days out there where it can change throughout the day as well. So I don't know that I fully explain that in the best way, but I hope that you as an angler do understand what I'm saying, because it can be a huge difference in the number of bass that you catch, both on the negative side and on the positive side. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to check out that fin fishing gear right here, and I will see you guys tomorrow.